Hey, yo, everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video review, and today we're going to be doing Robin, Teenage Wasteland. Take a look at this comic cover right here. Now, Robin, Teenage Wasteland takes place after Robin Wanted. However, it follows a different formula than that of Robin Wanted. See, in Robin Wanted, it did have two stories in it, but the majority of it, the bulk of it, like 85% of the book was just one story. So, we could pretty much say that Robin Wanted was one story arc, but just happened to have two issues in it that were a separate story. Robin Teenage Wasteland is very much different in that it has multiple stories in here. Sure, a lot of elements transition over through story to story, but they were multiple stories. Now, like I just said, a lot of elements from Robin Wanted, characters, plot points, all get transitioned over into Teenage Wasteland, and then transition over into the later Robin stories. Now, because there's a lot of stories in here, I'm not going to talk about all the plot points, all the characters, and all the stories. I'm going to leave that for you guys to kind of enjoy. But I will talk about three stories in particular, and maybe two or three plot points. Let's start off with the first story. The first story is very basic. A bunch of kids and teenagers are getting abducted. Robin needs to go in there alone without Batman to save these kids. While doing this, the mischievous Dodge shows back up. Now, if you don't remember Dodge, he was in the previous story arc, and he kind of wants to be Robin's sidekick. But Robin doesn't want him around because, well, this is dangerous work, and he doesn't want Dodge to get hurt. So, is Dodge going to cause more trouble than good for Robin? Or will Robin actually be able to get everyone out and have Dodge come into the fold? Well, you're going to have to read and see how that kind of goes down. Second story is probably the weakest out of the major stories, in that it's just Robin teaming up with a witch boy to take on mystical beasts and demons, and ooh, scary, yeah. Look at that cat's turning into a beast. It wasn't really that impressive of a story, and the art didn't quite work well with Robin. It would have worked well with Batman, but not Robin. So we're just going to move on. The next story is where Robin has to go up against a bunch of thugs and gangsters and criminals who have been enhanced, like Bane, with these muscles, and they're just ridiculously over-the-top jacked, like metahuman strong. And Robin needs to go and take care of these bad guys quickly before they cause any more trouble than they already have. While all this is going down, is Robin's actually starting his first legitimate, real, normal relationship with a girl. Will he be able to survive that, his most dangerous task, dating? Well, you're just going to have to read the book and see how everything goes down. But I will go into the good, the bad, and whether or not you should get it. Good. Well, the interesting thing about this is that the multiple story arcs actually work for this, the multiple stories, in that it keeps you interested. Each story in itself is good. It's particularly the first one and the last one, dealing with the abduction and the metahuman gangsters. I like the ending with the metahuman gangsters. It was kind of poetic, for lack of a better term. And I liked how in the first story, where he goes up against the abducted kids, trying to free them, that he actually goes covert, incognito, and has to go in there alone and struggle alone, and I just think that was worked out very nicely. The middle story wasn't quite as good, but oh well. Dodge is turning out to be an interesting character too at this point, and his character will continue to progress more and more in the next story arc. So the stories being multiple stories actually work because it keeps your interest. You know, the stories are good enough that they'll keep your interest for the short time that they're around, and then you'll move on to the next one. That's good is that the action in this is nice. We really start to also see Robin think things through. We see Robin much more mature in this than he was in any of his previous stories, especially before the 1 year later stories. Obviously in Robin Wanted we start to get to see the new status quo with Robin being more mature, more adult, more of a thinker, more decisive, and we really get to see a shine in this because he really is on his own a lot in this. So that is nice too. A lot of the characters start to grow on you too, which is nice because, you know, you don't want supporting characters that really don't matter to you. You want supporting characters that do matter. So you get that, and that is good. Downside. Well, the first downside is that the middle story, like I said, wasn't that good, and it really kind of slows down the pace. Like, you're starting off this great pace, and then you get slammed down by this story that has just really weird art in it, too. Just for Robin. It just doesn't fit Robin's art style. So, you kind of get slowed down, the pace gets slowed down. Second problem is that this is $17, and that's a lot of money. That is, I mean, you gotta think how much money you make and how much you can put away. I mean, 17 bucks is a lot of money, and you know, it's not something that you just throw around. So, in saying this, whether or not you should get it, I would recommend it. I think it's good. I think it's definitely a must-have for Robin fans, especially those who are getting in the 1 year later stories. The thing is, it just makes sure that you're committed to the Robin title. If you are committed to getting all the Robin stories and the other 4 stories, or the other 3 stories that go along with this, then go right ahead. Buy this. Go. That's fine. It's a good story. It has a lot of fun there, a lot of action, a lot of character development, and it is necessary for later Robin story arcs. However, if you read Robin Wanted and you're not really in the Robin mood, then you should probably not buy this. But on a whole, I would give it generally positive feedback. This is a good story. It was enticing. It held my interest. And it was Robin doing what Robin does best, be a badass. So with that said, Robin Teenage Wasteland, I'm glad to say that it continues the great pace that Robin Wanted started. So with that said, this is Andrew saying, peace out for now.